Here we go. We have got storms like this on the way, with day after day after day after day of severe weather expected. June sanity is here. Now, how bad could these storms get? And when are they gonna hit? Plus an update on the tropics. We got all that and more in your forecast starting now. Things like a nuclear explosion. All right, welcome in once again, guys. We've got a lot to talk about in the forecast. We've got a very active pattern ahead of us. Now, if you look at the visible satellite, this is where we're gonna start. Look at this trailing cold front that goes all the way up into Canada, all the way down into Texas, and storms are going to fire along that cold front today from Chicago through Illinois, through Indiana, all the way down to Texas. Once again, also another spot to look at, another trouble spot that I'm watching is down in Florida, and there's a little bit of a spin to this air. Do you see that, guys? That air's spinning a little bit around like that. So we've got some tropics to talk about later in the video. That's going to be the back half of the video, but a very stormy couple of days it has been for Florida. And check out our western brethren out here in the Pacific Northwest and along the West Coast. You guys are looking gorgeous. Same thing with our East Coast brethren as well. You guys have a beautiful day on tap for your Wednesday. All right, so let's not bury the lead here. Let's get right to the multiple days of severe weather that we are expecting. And first, I'm going to walk you through the high-level pattern to give you an idea about why this is all happening. The stronger winds are depicted in the greens, the yellows, the oranges, whereas the weaker winds are in the white. So looking at how this pattern will evolve throughout the week, notice we've got pretty zonal flow. This is west to east type flow. Now you can still get very potent days of severe weather, and that's exactly what we're expecting. Notice how we've got some greens over here in Oklahoma, and then going into Saturday, that little bit of a jet stream feature pushes a little bit further off to the east. This area right here is where we're expecting several rounds of severe weather right underneath of that jet streak for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, even into Saturday. Things don't get better until about Sunday when this big feature, this bowling ball of a low pressure, works its way into the Midwest and Ohio Valley. Stop what you're doing right now. Pick up your mouse in your hand just like this, throw it in the air, grab it again, hit the subscribe button, and mash the like button. And leave a comment below. Look, someone's leaving a comment. This video is so cool. Wow. Back to you, Stormcat. Oh, this is cool. This right here, guys, is weather front, and I'm using it on my iPad at the same time as showing you guys. Wow. Now, this is the Storm Prediction Center outlook for today, June 4th. We've got two major areas right now where we could have some severe storms. We've got this big marginal risk from Michigan all the way through Indiana, Illinois, down into Texas. And then we've got a second area, and I think this area will be the area I'm more concerned about right along the Texas-New Mexico border. And that's where we've got a slight risk. That's a 2 out of 5 risk. And I know what you're wondering. Clovis is included. Look, there it is right there. Clovis. Now, the only area where I'm concerned about today for tornadoes is going to be right in this area. Once again, right along the New Mexico state border. We do have a 2% risk for today. Take a look at how today might play out on future radar here. This is starting Wednesday about midday. There's really not a lot going on, but as we go into the afternoon and evening, that's when these storms pop right in the heart of New Mexico, and they push a little bit off to the north here. Once we get to about 6, 7, 8, they start to take a hard right turn and move into Texas. That's when the greatest tornado threat will exist. Once again, we're really not talking about that big of a threat today. So heads up, our Clovis or West Texas brethren, get a couple of storms. And then we've also got this line of storms that's going to move through. This is where we have another marginal risk that goes from up in Michigan all the way down through Texas. This line of storms is going to march its way off to the east. Once again, though, guys, looking at the radar, it really doesn't look that bad. Just a rainy, stormy day ahead. If I don't see a lightning strike with this, I'm going to lose it. Now, looking at the radar too, there's another interesting feature. Look at all this storm action down here off the South Carolina coast. That area was the tropical area that we were watching, and I'll get to that later in the video exactly what's happening with it. But the good news is it's going to run out of time big time. Did I say time twice? Time big time, 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 big time. Now, what's the severe weather risk going to be for tomorrow? That's Thursday, June 5th. And you can see we've got an area of a marginal area that goes all the way up into Maine through Vermont and New Hampshire that continues all the way down into Oklahoma and Texas and Kansas. And if we zoom out a little bit more on this, I think the greatest chance of getting storms, tornadoes, is going to be clearly in this area. Now, we could get some decent storms in the Ohio Valley through the Northeast, absolutely, but the main area, the area of greatest concern for Thursday is going to be in that yellow area off to the left. Is that to my left or to my right? We zoom in here on this area and take a look at the tornado risk. We've got a 5%. That's in brown, right in there. A 5% risk to see a tornado within 25 miles of any point. That includes cities like Amarillo and Lubbock. Oklahoma City is even in the 2% risk, so tornadoes are possible. Now let's take a look at the hail here too. Hail will also be a concern, especially along the Kansas, Oklahoma, and Texas, where some large hail of 2 inches or greater could fall. All right, here's how things are going to play out on Thursday. Thursday during the day, we could have some ongoing showers and storms down here in Texas, but the main event by far is going to be this action that's just starting to form around 3 or 4 p.m. Central on Thursday afternoon. Watch as we get into dinner time. This is 5, this is 6 p.m. Look at these storms that form up here. These could contain very large hail, especially right along that border. We've also got another cluster of storms that'll form down near Lubbock, Amarillo as well. Those will have a greater tornado threat. These will also have a pretty good tornado threat as well, right in that 5% risk. Colorado also getting in on the storm action, so heads up our Colorado brethren. Your storm season is just beginning now. Going into Thursday, into the overnight hours, looks like these storms will form into a big time MCS, a big time line of storms. And I think they're going to slam their way. Yep, they're going to slam their way off to the east towards Oklahoma City. Oklahoma's likely going to have a noisy and stormy night Friday overnight. If you live there, get ready for a lot of bangs. Now, what about the eastern United States for Thursday? This is around Thursday at around 8 p.m. Notice we've got these scattered storms that go all the way up into Maine, all the way through Ohio, even through Illinois and into Arkansas. That's where we've got that marginal risk. But once again, guys, the severe weather parameters just aren't going to be there. We'll have some decent cape, but our tornado conditions, our conditions that help spawn tornadoes, just won't be there. These storms won't be really rotating all that much. They'll just be kind of meandering and getting pushed a little bit further to the east with that cold front. Another day, another crappy day of storms for Ohio. Oh my goodness. That's right. More severe weather expected this time on Friday. We've got a little bit of like a dog bone shaped severe weather risk out here that includes Colorado, Texas, Oklahoma, all the way through Ohio and South Carolina, right underneath of that zonal flow that we talked about. Remember, the jet stream was going to be moving through like this, and right underneath of that jet stream is where you're going to get that severe weather, and that's why we've got this risk for Friday. Now, they don't actually issue tornado probabilities out this far, but I'm telling you guys, Friday, we likely are going to see tornadoes somewhere in this area. Heads up, our Amarillo, Oklahoma City, Arkansas, and Tennessee brethren. Friday could be a big day. All right, and the one big thing to note for Friday, notice how we've got this big line of storm that's going to march its way across Oklahoma during the overnight hours going into Friday morning. If you read the Storm Prediction Center's discussion, that is the big question mark why they haven't upgraded probabilities for storms on Friday. Because how long that thing hangs around, how long this line of storms hangs around Oklahoma, and how far south it goes will affect how the severe weather on Friday night is going to play out, especially if there's an outflow boundary that sets up that could enhance tornado probabilities, or if those storms hang around for a little bit longer than forecasted, they could actually kill the instability and cause the severe weather threat, especially in northern Oklahoma, to be way less. And that's why the NAM doesn't show a whole lot, at least for now, on Friday. So, but I'm telling you, Friday, we're going to have our head on a swivel. More to come in the future. Oh my, it's happening again. Saturday, more severe weather expected. Look at this. We got a fish risk. This is a fishy risk here. You got the fish here. You got the shark fin. I think this is a shark risk. So good chance we're going to see Sharknado on Saturday. Oh, I love that movie. But once again, guys, very similar areas to Friday. Just a little bit further to the south. Once again, though, our West Texas, Oklahoma, Texas brethren, through Alabama, Georgia, Mississippi, southern Tennessee, even into South Carolina. You've got severe weather on the way on Saturday, June 7th. All right, so outside of those trouble spots, outside of that severe weather, what's the rest of us going to expect across the country? I think a good portion of the western United States for the next couple of days, let me show you. pretty much rain-free, except right along the Colorado Rockies, possibly into Utah. We're going to have several days of storms from Wednesday, Thursday, Friday into Saturday. But that's pretty normal for this time of year as the summertime storm pattern ramps up. Our West Coast brethren, once again, are going to stay dry, and folks in the Northeast are going to stay dry at least from Wednesday through Thursday, but storms do come Thursday afternoon and evening, and they do hang around on Friday. Now, for those folks in the Southeast, you're going to get this storm system that's pushing in. It's not going to be a tropical storm by any means. There was a low chance of it developing, but that chance has now disappeared, but that doesn't matter. You're still going to get a couple of days of rain from Florida up through Georgia, through South Carolina, as that weak low meanders on shore. And our Midwest brethren, you're going to be looking pretty good for Wednesday, Thursday, as you'll be behind a cold front. You'll have winds kind of coming down from the north. You should have a gorgeous couple of days. All right, so let's talk Turkey here. Let's talk the tropics. And here's what we got. This is the only area that we had a little bit of concern about for potential development. Notice how that area is now sitting at a whopping 0%. So we're not concerned about this developing into a tropical storm or a hurricane. That's not going to happen. But what will happen is this area of showers and storms is going to meander up towards the South Carolina coast, and it will bring days of rain and storms onshore from Thursday, Friday, possibly even through Saturday. Now, what about our other storm system? What about the hurricane that was supposed to hit the Gulf? Yeah, that's gone now. This is the GFS model. That was the only model that was showing this storm system, and this is the time frame that the hurricane would have formed. And notice how we have absolutely nothing going on in the Gulf for the next several days. That's why you got to be really careful who you get your weather information from. Do not get it from this guy who is just an engagement farming hack. Get it from the National Hurricane Center. You can get it from here. I know I do get excited, but I'm not going to sugarcoat things here at the Stormfront Freaks Network. I'm going to tell you like it is. And this is a classic GFS, guys. You got to know the GFS model has a terrible history. It poofs these hurricanes up at 364 hours, and then people post all over Twitter, oh, mega hurricane, we're all gonna die. Most of the time, they never end up happening. Speaking of hurricanes, get ready. Tomorrow, we've got episode 237 of the Stormfront Freaks podcast, and that starts tomorrow night, Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern. It's going to be freely available to everyone here on YouTube. We're going to have Josh Morgan, the hurricane beast. He's going to be on. Look at what shape he's in. He's in epic shape, and he's going to give us his hurricane outlook for 2025. We're going to talk hurricanes and so much more. And lastly, check out Connor Croft. This was a freeze frame that froze for like 10 seconds on the live stream last night. Telling you guys, you're not going to want to miss future Outbreak Aftermath live streams. It's like an after show with all the storm chasers. So check it out here on YouTube. Thanks for joining me. Find someone, tell them you love them, tell them you care about them. Do something nice for someone today. This is Stormcat 5, and I'll see you on the next one.